A military family keeping it real, magnifying their lives to help you take a closer look at your own. Ordinary people living an extraordinary life.
A variety show of real life marriage and parenting, using their test as their testimony, showing the world that perfect isn't inspiring while bringing something fresh to the scene. Reality just got real.
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of Magnified. I'm Jake with my lovely wife, Ashley, and we have two of our friends here with us today. One of my old veteran buddies and his wife. So we're going to let them introduce themselves in a second. But this is episode dos. So let you guys go ahead and introduce yourself. We have Hickman. I'm sorry, that's his last name. So we have Andrew and we have Annie. So Andrew, if you want to start off kind of telling the people a little bit about who you are.
What's up, guys? I'm Andrew Hickman. I'm 35 years old. My birthday's actually this Monday, so I'll be 36.
Woo-hoo!
I don't feel like it. I still kind of feel like a kid at heart, but it's great.
Kind of look like it, though.
Oh, yeah. And just enjoying the moment, man. We're in Wilmington having a good time, and I'm here with my lovely wife, Annie.
Hello.
So Annie, tell us a little bit about you.
I am Annie Hickman. Born and raised in Raleigh, North Carolina. Met Andrew almost 4 years ago. Been married for a little over 3.
Neat. Ashley, you want to say anything?
Sure. Good morning.
She's like, I can't wait. I've been holding back.
I have a whole list of questions here. All right. So we are not like all about the fluff. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this thing. And that's what people, I think, like the most about us. It makes us super relatable, and that's what this podcast is about. So,
before you start that, let's kind of give the audience like a setting. So, like, we dropped our kids off.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Andrew and Annie dropped their kids off.
Mm-hmm.
We dropped our dog off. So, like, we are literally kid, dog, responsibility free all weekend. And Annie found us this amazing house in Wilmington, a little Airbnb. And so we've had breakfast. Ashley cooked a nice breakfast casserole.
My favorite. I love it.
It was good. So now we're all fat and happy and drinking coffee.
Got our 6 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
We are ready for you guys.
So that's the setting here, and we're sitting here at this little breakfast nook table. So all right, now we can get into it.
All right. So the really what we're doing here today is talking about blended families. We're talking about like parenting kids that are not necessarily yours biologically. And Annie and Andrew are a perfect example of that. And I know that some of their story is probably not like super easy to share, but they know that there are other people out there that need to hear it too. So how did you guys meet?
You want to take that one?
I mean, yeah, I could start it off.
All right, go
and then
for it.
chime in when you want.
All right.
So we met on Tinder.
Tinderella.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you swipe right.
Yeah. No. Right? Is that it?
Is it right or left?
I haven't been on it in so long that I forgot. I guess I'm glad I swiped right.
I think so, right?
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So then, like, I kind of reached out to her, and then we didn't talk for a while.
Yeah, and you got off Tinder.
I got off Tinder.
Me on
Facebook.
And I'm like, who is this creep?
Yeah, she
messaging
forgot.
Me,
She forgot who I was.
that I know him.
Yeah. But
then one of your pictures did look familiar. I was like, oh, okay, I do know this guy.
Did he
she's
have
like,
a beard?
oh, I
Did he
do
have a
know this guy.
beard
He
then?
looks good.
It was really short. He kept it short, but
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
he
it's
did have a
definitely not
beard.
what it is right now at all. It was like
That's
stubble,
dynasty.
maybe.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
So y'all can't see it, but Hickman has a beautiful
He's a
red
leprechaun.
beard.
He just looks like this pot of gold.
Oh,
so
He's
you guys
even
met
green
on
right now.
so you guys met on Tinder,
Yeah.
caught back up on Facebook,
Yeah.
and then how did it evolve after that?
like, she told me that she was a single mom, and she didn't have, like, the free time that she wanted. So, like, I kind of was like, well, I could adjust to your schedule. I was like, would it be weird if I booked an appointment to get a haircut with her? Because at the time she was working for Arrow, cutting hair. And I was like, well, can I book a schedule? Can I, make a schedule with you or whatever? And you were like, yeah, that's fine. And I thought it'd be good to be like an icebreaker for her and be comfortable in her environment with the people that she works with, who she was close with at the time. And little did I know that she had told everybody before I got there that the guy that I'm talking to from Tinder is coming in to get a haircut.
My man's
Of course
coming.
she told
My
us.
Yeah, she
Tinder
did.
date.
Yeah, so I'm just like, and it was fine. Like we had a good time. We
Yeah.
talked, and she cut my hair. She gave me a great haircut, and I was like, oh man, this is perfect. Like I was like, she's
Good
very
looking.
good
Service
looking.
is
She cut
style.
hair. I'm like, this is great. And then she told me afterwards, like everyone was like, so how was your Tinder date? And I'm like, oh my goodness. I
Yeah.
was like, that's crazy, but
Well, we had a date that Friday night because I worked Saturdays. So Friday night was my only night without my daughter since I worked so late Fridays. I had an overnight sitter.
that's right.
So we went out to Cheesecake Factory
Love Cheesecake Factory.
late
Mhm.
because I didn't get home till late. Just had appetizers and drinks.
Yeah, we had a good time, and then like Annie thought it was like I thought the date went really well, and she was just so worried because she wasn't feeling good or allergies or something.
Well, I didn't know it was allergies.
Or, yeah, and she was just like, later on she had told me like, oh yeah, like I just wasn't feeling good and all this and that,
Yeah.
but I mean, I still had a good time. I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
And then we had what was the next thing we did?
We went to the concert the next night.
The next night, like I had already gotten like us the Eric Church concert in Raleigh to go to, and she agreed to go, and I was like, sweet, and we just kept
Mhm.
hanging out
The
after
rest
that.
was history.
That's
Yeah.
the rest.
Got
So-
married 3 months later.
So, was there ever like a moment where you were like doubting, kind of dating like a single mom? Like when she's like, "Hey, I'm a single mom." Was there ever like kind of like a like that?
I mean, I don't do it until like I actually, if I'm in her life long enough to meet the child.
Mhm.
It's like I always want to play it out by how that kid reacts to me and whether or not like I'm going to go through with the relationship because, I mean, and it's hard because a lot of parents do that too. It's
Mhm.
like, how well do they get along with my child? And I'm going to base that relationship off of it. And I do the same exact thing,
Right.
because sometimes not everyone's going to see that, and I will.
Mhm.
And I'll be like, we had fun, but I don't think it's going to work out.
Right.
But it wasn't like that with Annie at all. Like when she got to the point where it'd be comfortable to meet Callie, we did. What was it, Football Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Like we all went out to watch football.
Yeah.
And we had a good time, and it was afterwards where I really bonded with her. We went to Target, and
I had a Tula.
she had a Tula, and I
you were
asked
like,
if I
can
could
I wear her?
carry her in it because she was like little. She was 3
Yeah.
years old at the time,
Yeah.
and I mean it was fun. We had a good time, and
In her floral print Tula.
mhm.
You rocked that thing.
Oh yeah,
And that's where I was like, that's a good man, rocking my
I
floral
remember
print
talking
Tula.
to you like after after you guys were starting to talk, you had met Callie.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, yo, man, like, I'm really liking this chick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, her kid's super cool. Like, we bonded right away. And I was like, hey, man, roll. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you're happy, you're happy. It doesn't matter if it was a month, 2 months. You know what I mean? And look at you guys now.
And I
Yeah.
think it makes a difference too because Callie was so young. It's like kind of like all she's ever known.
Yep.
So I think it's different, in these situations, depending on how old your kids are
Yep.
when you make that switch.
I could see it being a lot more difficult
It
if,
being,
like,
like,
you have, like, a
affecting them
teenager.
different.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
so.
Because she's just kind of seeing you as daddy.
Yeah.
yep.
Well, we still have a Christmas ornament
She
that says
started
Mr.
calling me.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like
I'm
we
gonna keep
treasure it
that.
because it was like, oh, remember that really short
Yeah.
period of time where she called you Mr.
I was
Andrew?
Mr.
That is-
Andrew.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
But no, she declared that. I'll never forget it. I was in the kitchen, they were in the living room, and she just, I guess, looked at him. I don't know, I couldn't see what was happening. I just heard it. And she was like, Andrew, you're my daddy. And we just
You know, like, so
went
we
from
went-
that.
we went
Went
from
from
that, yeah.
there, yep.
Because I was like, I'm totally okay with that.
So
Yeah.
when you heard it for the first time, was it like weird to hear?
It wasn't weird. It was just very unexpected
Mhm.
because I didn't know that.
Kinda
I was
caught
gonna
you
be
off
coming-
guard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
And we never, like,
talked about it like
No.
ever because
He
we didn't
was
think
Mr.
that was going to
Andrew,
happen.
So that was, like,
like-
super organic that she did
Yeah.
that. And
Mhm.
it wasn't like y'all were kind of hitting around
that's
it.
just how she felt,
Yeah.
He
And it- I mean,
stepped into that role. He,
and it, tou-
portrayed that.
it
and-
touched my heart because, like, from going from Mr. Andrew to Daddy, like, just showed the kind of relationship I had with her.
Mhm.
So it made me feel really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I didn't want to change that. I was like, if that's
Mhm.
what she wants to call me, I'm going to let her call me that.
Nice.
hmm
So, how did you feel, since I asked him the question about how did you feel about the single mom deal, how did you feel finding out about him being divorced, or, you know what I'm saying, did that have any effect on how, like, you kind of went about the relationship, or was it like, you know what, I don't
mean,
care, like,
Yeah, not really. I mean, I had a kid from a very short relationship, so who am I to judge? But I mean, I came from a divorced household, so divorce wasn't like a scary thing for me. I actually didn't find out about both of them until the day we were going to the courthouse filling out our marriage license.
I only laugh because I know Andrew.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's such a good guy. So I feel like it's appropriate that I can laugh at this, even though what he did was so wrong.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, to defend myself, honestly, like,
Hold
It
on.
never
You
really
got to
came
tell the story.
Okay.
You got to tell
I
the
mean,
story.
it never really came up, and it was 3 months. I mean,
Right.
it wasn't
Quick.
like we
and that's what I'm
spent
talking about, like what she just hit on.
Uh-huh.
3 months
Yeah.
after knowing her, we got married.
to the
So
day.
the topic would not have come up in a 3-month like period time frame of dating.
Right, but we knew that we wanted to be together. We knew that we
Mhm.
felt that strongly about each other.
Hmm.
And we talked about getting married. We joked about it in a serious, joking way. And I woke up one morning and looked at the calendar and realized it was exactly 3 months to the day we met. And I was like, babe, we should just go ahead and get married. It's 3 months. And you were like, okay. And I was like, wait, for real? Like, we're going to do this? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So I have to leave for work, but we're online filling out our marriage application. And it asks you, like,
During her
what
lunch
number. Hold on. The
Yeah.
application was in the morning before
Okay.
I left.
break. Okay.
It's like what number marriage is this for you? And he tells me 3, and I'm like, wait, what? And I mean, we talked about it, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, that doesn't change my feeling. I still love you. Like, just because you have been married before doesn't mean, oh, can't love you. Sorry, you've been divorced. And we filled it out. I went to work, and then on my 30-minute lunch break, we ran up to the courthouse and got married. Picked up our marriage license, went up to whatever floor it was, and
And
How
did
did
it.
my
And
mom-
we
How
did
did
it.
your parents and stuff feel about you guys getting married so quick?
my mom was, which is surprising, my mom is not the one that's like okay with like rushing a relationship. But a month into us dating, my car broke down and Andrew bought me a car, and we go to show my mom, and she was like, well, welcome to the family, I guess. I'll make a place for you at Thanksgiving. And I'm like, this is my mom just said that? Like, she's not the type to, be like that. And that was in November. We met in October, got married in January.
Yep.
But
I
she
know,
was
it's
fine with
crazy
it.
to
I
think
mean, like, I
about.
texted her because we needed witnesses. So her and her partner came, and Callie was there, and my best friend at the time was there.
Yeah.
My mom even brought flowers. So, like, I had a little bouquet. Callie had a little bouquet.
Yeah, they made it really
Yeah.
nice, and accepted it
Yeah.
instead of going there and looking miserable.
Yeah.
You
Were your
know?
parents there?
No, my parents were still in Jersey and they didn't know this was happening.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. His
Oh,
parents
guys.
didn't find out we were married until I met them for the
story
first
just
Oh,
time
yeah.
in
keeps getting
April.
better and
Oh,
better.
okay.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I just didn't tell them because I mean, it's like,
Didn't tell 'em why I was
do I need to
scared.
tell them?
You know why? Because in 3 months, that topic just didn't seem to come up.
Yeah.
Right? That's very true.
That you were married and that you were going to get married.
I don't know. I mean, things were happening fast. I wasn't really communicating with my parents that much at the time.
Right.
So to me, it just didn't seem like a big deal that I didn't
Right.
tell them. And, I'm looking back and I'm like, yeah, I probably should have, especially with the relationship I have with my parents now. It's a lot stronger
Right.
since the kids are involved and they're closer now. At the time they were in Jersey and now they're in Warsaw, and like we see them a lot more. It's great, and I feel like I bond with my parents and talk to them more on the phone than I ever have.
Mhm.
So
Well, that's like at the time when we got married, I never asked her dad like permission
yeah,
for like her hand in marriage, and that's like, dude, you're from the South and you didn't do that. Like, it's a no. You know what I
Listen,
mean?
I
Right.
knew, like, when I called to tell them, I knew that they were going to be excited for me. But deep down, I was like, I know it's going to cross his mind. Like,
So
like, he loves Jake. But
So like now, like you said, like thinking back, I'm like kind of like, dang, dude, I wish I could do it over again. Even though I know he would have said yes.
do
Like,
it.
you
Do
know
it
what I
over
mean?
again. Remember I told you I want to get married again? I told him.
Oh, so we gotta pretend it again.
I was like, babe, I just want to like have another wedding.
All right, Papa Randy, when you hear this podcast, just know you got a phone call coming, and I'm gonna need you to say yes again, please, even though you didn't answer the first question. So
That's great.
So blended family, how does discipline work? Like when was the first time that you heard him have to really like get onto her, and how did that make you feel?
or was
like,
it natural? Like you
did
just
it
kind of assumed it?
happen?
I think
Because I've always been curious about that. Because I know, like me personally, if I was in this situation, I would feel like I had to be careful with the
Like,
discipline.
are there boundaries?
You know what I mean? Because like I still want her to feel like I'm that loving guy that she calls daddy now and all this, but then again, you have to be daddy, which means you have to discipline.
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, it's been such a
think-
long time, but like, I mean, when I was first, you know,
Yeah.
when we were first together, like, I really didn't have to, like, I didn't discipline her
Right.
because,
Or if you did, it was very gentle. Disciplining. Don't do that.
yeah, things like that. And now it's gotten a little bit more aggressive.
Get over here.
Not that, but yeah, to be joking, it's it's gone from being very
Well, it
easy going
evolves
to a
with
little
the
bit more.
child.
And,
Yeah.
and it
Oh, you
does.
sweet, cute little
Right.
semi-baby toddler.
Yeah.
Then you go full-blown toddler, and then
Mhm.
they're like, "Oh, a little too big for your own
Right.
britches."
Yeah.
Your discipline evolves
but-
with that.
I mean, and I think that's exactly what it was. And you know, I got more comfortable in the dad role,
Right.
so where it was like, you know, I look at her like she's my kid. Like
Yep.
I never go, she's not mine. Like, you know, that's
Right.
not my kid. Like I never ever look at her like that. I look at her like she's my own blood. Like she's
Yep.
a part of me.
Yeah.
And
But I think that's what's made it work, though.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Because you never tiptoed around like treating her as if she really wasn't fully yours.
Right.
You just assumed all of responsibility.
yeah, and then like with the two kids, you know, with Kelly and Cone, I feel like I'm disciplining them equally. I just discipline her more because I know she knows better.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
She's
so
older. Yeah.
so when she acts a certain way, knowing she shouldn't, that's where it gets to me, and I get a little bit more outraged than like I should. I'm like, why are you doing this? You know,
Right.
you're not-
Outrage makes you
know.
sound like you're like hulking.
Okay, not that. Like,
Hey,
you know,
I get outraged.
Not like outraged, but like just to the point where I'm like,
No, I
just
get it.
like just hanging out, we're all having a good
Oh,
time.
we
And
are.
then all of a
Our
sudden,
parents get it.
she
Men
does
need to
something.
explore
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Every
you're just
parent
like,
listening to this
oh,
is like, no, it's outrage. It is complete
Let's just call it what
outrage.
it is. Okay.
DSS isn't listening. So we're good. No, I'm kidding.
So, and for you, it was never like weird to see like him in that role.
Or was it comforting
Like-
knowing that he?
Like, do you
would
ever
assume
feel
that?
like, oh, I have to protect her, or do you just like
I know what he wants to say
because you
right
trust
now,
him, you can like
that I stick up for her
I mean,
when you get on her sometimes.
and like I do
Ashley
have
does
to,
that too, though.
I have to be brought down sometimes because I do get a little.
Ashley
In the
say,
moment.
Jake, and I'm like, I got this. She's like, just calm down for a second before you go in there.
Yeah.
or I'll look at him and I'll be like, just so you know, you have like crazy eyes right now.
Well, like, I don't know. I'm a super emotional person. I know a lot of her bad behavior comes from emotion. Like,
Mhm.
she'll get upset and she'll, like, storm off or,
Oh, it's the
like,
worst.
slam a door, which she
Oof.
doesn't do very often because I don't do slamming of doors. Like, not cool.
Oh yeah, Annie gets, yeah.
Those slamming of
That's
doors
when I
is
go
the-
red.
yeah.
Like, when you slam a door in my house. Like, excuse me,
Mhm.
did you
Blood
just slam
pressure
a door
straight
in
through
my
the
house?
roof.
I don't think
Yeah.
so. That's my job.
Uh-huh.
Don't do it again as I slam the door.
Yeah,
and walk out.
right. Only I could slam doors. in there.
Exactly. But like, I don't know. I'm super emotional, and I know a lot of her behavior comes from that. So like, if she's tired, she'll start acting out more, and I'm like, babe,
Mhm.
like,
Yep.
chill out. Like, it's just because she's tired. Like, she just needs to go to bed. She still needs to know better. I'm like, yeah, but she's tired. So I stick up for her a lot. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not a lot, but I stick up for her. It's like, you always stick up for her.
But you know, I feel
I
like
know.
like when Ashley disciplined the boys, like I deep down, even though I'm like, oh, you better go in there and get them. Don't
Yeah,
let them
me
do
too.
that.
I,
I deep down, I'm like, man, I feel bad for her. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I hear
Yeah.
you.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
the
But like
same
when I
way.
go in there, I don't feel bad at
I
all. I'm
think
like, you about
that's
to get it,
why-
son.
Because that's what I do. Like, if I'm disciplined Cohen and I'm like really harsh about it, and then like when Annie's about to go in there, I'm like,
You're like,
oh,
take
just you know, just be, you know, like,
Uh-huh.
I'm like I try to do
Uh-huh.
something to make it seem like it's not so bad,
Soften
but
it.
I'm just like
Yeah.
soften it.
You're
But I'm
behind
like,
her going like, it's
but I'm like, but I'm over here like, you know, complete opposite. Like I go in there and I'm just gonna, you know,
Mhm.
kind of give it to him.
Yeah.
That's
Gosh,
funny.
it's hard,
So,
y'all.
yeah.
being parents.
I think all parents are just kind of like,
Yeah.
yep, we agree
So
with
it's good
y'all.
to know that
We're
know,
not.
even both biological parents feel like when the other one's disciplining them.
Oh, it's the same.
"Okay, I love
Uh-huh.
you."
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, my heart breaks. It actually, I'll tell him sometimes, I'm like, Jake, I know, like, I have a hard day with them. And he's like, well, I'm just going to discipline them when I get home. And I'm like, I've already disciplined them too. And honestly, I just don't even want to hear it.
Mhm.
I just want you to take over. Because hearing still the, like, turmoil and the just arguing makes me, like, sick on my stomach.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, this stresses me out so
I got a
bad.
funny story. I remember being a kid and I started making bad grades, and Dad would always be like, you know, because he worked third shift, he's coming home, whatever, and he's like, so why'd you make this bad grade? I'm like, I don't know. well, were you just not paying attention? Did you not do your work? I'm like, I don't know. So he finally told me, he's like, the next time you bring home a bad grade, I better not hear. I don't know. You better have a reason. So next report card came. My sister's like, oh, look, we got our report cards. I'm like, dang, I've had mine. I wanted to hide it for at least another week.
Yeah.
She's like, I got straight A's or whatever. Sorry, Ashley's banging pans.
Sorry.
So I show him my report card afterwards because he asked for it, and there's a big old E on there, like way below an F. There was an E. And I'm like, oh man. He's looking at it. He starts doing this like little hand thing on the arm of the chair, and I know that's when he's like really pissed. And he's like, he looks at me, and I'm like, He goes, so what happened? Why'd you make this grade? And I knew I couldn't say I don't know. And the real excuse, I was never good at lying. I was like, I didn't try. Dude, this blood pressure spiked. Slammed the remote control, sent me to my room, gave me the old-fashioned belt whipping, you know what I mean? So much to the point when I came out of the room still sniffling, Mom and my sister on the couch crying. Like they felt bad for me. So like when we were sharing that story, I was like picturing Mom and Anna like feeling bad for me, even though like I was the idiot who kept making bad grades.
Sure. And you were like 15 or something.
Yeah, I was in middle school. Like he's like, drop your pants, and I looked at him crying. Like, I'm not dropping my pants. He's like, pull your pants. I'm like, okay, yes sir. You're a big dude. I'll pull my pants down. We love you, Dad.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, my dad is very hard too, but
I appreciate it though.
Yeah,
man.
me too, man. It made me to the man I am. Like, I work hard. He works hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Work ethic.
All right, so let's see here. No marriage is easy. You guys get married after 3 months of knowing each other. There's been multiple marriage. There's single mom issue. It's not like your white picket fence ideal fairy tale, right, in the beginning.
Right, yeah.
And
don't let
so,
the
like,
pictures fool you.
But it's been worth it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Even when I want to throat punch him, I still love him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have our moments, but man, our good moments outshine any other moment that we may have. And I love it. Like,
the struggles we've went through have made us stronger as a couple.
Absolutely. And
finding strength in your struggle.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And it just clicked.
Yeah.
And I knew that she was it for me.
Oh my goodness, you gonna kiss her?
If you guys could see them,
You should kiss her right now.
if you guys could see them right now, looking at each other and holding hands, and well, actually, you will because we're gonna post a video of it on YouTube.
All right. So, what's one piece of advice that you would pass along to others who are kind of in similar situations that you guys were in when you met one another?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, I just say, like, just don't give up.
Yeah.
Work on your strengths, find the good in the relationship you have and just move forward. But, I mean, it doesn't always work out. It's not always going to be perfect.
It's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah. But I'm saying, I mean, if you think it's worth it, go for it.
Yeah.
And if you don't waste anybody's time.
Yeah.
Move on and do what you got to do. But with me and Annie, it was just...
It worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
We didn't give up.
So let me ask you this then, to kind of caveat off of that one. Did y'all have like naysayers in your group of friends or family where they were kind of like, they were kind of like, what are you guys doing? You know what I mean?
Because
honestly,
did you ever compare yourselves to others because it wasn't, it was like the Tinder, the divorces.
I don't think we ever.
You kind of had that. You have like a little bit of like a stigma.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
just going into it.
So
did
when people probably saw it, it's like, this is not going to last.
Right.
Because it's like
so like me is like Tinder. As your best friend, when we deployed twice together, super close, or like brothers. And for me, when you started telling me about Annie, I'm like, bro, like you're moving pretty quick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And but I could tell how happy you were, and I'm like, well, screw it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But he's happy for now, so let him roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there was other buddies that we know that will hear about it because word spreads fast.
Oh yeah.
And they're probably like, well, bro, he met her on Tinder. It's just this ain't gonna work.
Everyone's gonna have their opinions.
Yeah.
But look at him now.
Yeah.
Even whenever things happen in marriage, sometimes people are like, oh, that's not what I would have done, or I would have done this or that.
Right.
Yeah.
But really, like,
you're not in those shoes.
You say that, but you have to like empathize with people, and you can't make assumptions off of just this large concept.
Right.
Hey, Magnified. Like, you have to really look down like into each individual person and not make judgments off of like.
And I think
he's been married twice. I mean, honestly, if I met a guy and I knew he had been married twice, I would have been a little bit like,
you were tiptoe.
oh gosh, So I like admire you for that. I just don't know if I could like how I would feel about that. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, because I felt like you felt like that a little bit, but not like to the point where it bothered you.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like, I just kind of, like, kept my guard up.
I was gonna say it probably just put you more on guard.
Yeah.
You know, like you're way more observant of like your own emotions, your own
Right.
feelings, and
Well, it's
I'll let him
just-
have a little bit, but you're not getting all of it yet.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. And especially with a kid in the mix. And I mean, he did meet Callie for a while, but, I mean, we got married after 3 months, so obviously it wasn't that long, but...
Right. I mean, and it was a different circumstance because of the last relationship I was in. It's not that we got divorced, she passed away. So then, you know, what happens next? Nobody
Right.
knows. There's no guide that tells you what you're supposed to do
Right.
after your wife passes away. And when I met Annie kind of like saved me from that whole
Oh yeah.
emotional thing that I went through, and you know, she accepted me for that. She knew she was taking a chance on me when it was like a huge red flag going like, well, he was in a relationship with somebody who passed away, like how do I handle this? You know,
Right.
she didn't know what to do either, but our feelings were true, and
Yeah. I just proceed with caution, and you won me over.
yep.
Yeah.
I would say
Ended your trip a little early to come back and see me. 'cause
Oh,
you
yeah,
missed
when I was
me.
in
You went to
Chicago.
Chicago,
Mhm.
and you're like, I miss you, I'm coming home early.
Yep.
Oh, he really does love me.
really he was just like, it's cold, I'm coming. Get out of this
I mean,
window.
maybe, I don't know.
What's
That
your
was when you fell in love with me. You told me that on our wedding day.
Yeah.
Was when I came and picked you up at the airport, and you saw me coming down the escalator to come meet you.
It was like such like a perfect movie,
Like,
like set up, like
Yeah.
like, and I just envisioned that in my head, like, I'm like,
Nicholas
this could be a
Sparks in
scene
yeah?
out of a movie, yeah, you know, like Say Anything with John Cusack.
Did you
know,
run
whatever.
and do the jump? Did you
No.
run and
Yeah.
jump, or did you just like scurry and like one leg up kick?
We did like we embraced, and then like
Yeah.
we kind of did
Did
like
you
a
do
little
the side
makeout.
hug?
We did like
Yeah.
a makeout
Side
sesh.
hug.
We did a little makeout
It
sesh
was when
real
we got in
quick.
the car, though.
And then when we got to the car, we steamed up the car windows
Yeah.
a little bit. You know? It was just like
People-
in the
lips
airport
locked, you know.
parking lot.
Yeah.
People see y'all in the airport like, ugh, get out of here.
No, it was late. It was late at night.
Yeah,
So it was
it was
all right,
late.
dude. Not too many people walking around.
No.
That's
That's
funny.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So, what's your favorite thing about each other?
Oh, I don't know. That's hard.
I mean, there's some things that it's
I
not
like
like
her
it's
beard.
not.
I like her butt.
No, like
We have
so.
mugs that say
Yeah,
that.
physically, yeah, I would be like, oh, definitely her eyes and just her face. Like I think
I like your face.
you have the most like you have such a pretty face,
I
like
love seeing
with
this so like.
and without makeup. But my that's like a physical thing. But what I love now is like I love watching Annie grow
Mhm.
from who she was when I met her to who she is now. Like I couldn't be more proud of her because of how much. God, I'm about to cry.
Aw.
Of just everything that she's accomplished and what she's doing. Like if you ever get up and see her life stories from her first life to what she is now, she's so much more confident and like and it makes me feel so proud to be her husband because I'm like, that's my wife right there.
Boom.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, we're gonna take a snippet of that right
Boom.
there, and that's like your next Lime Life post.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
your husband's crying, and it has a lot to do with
Yeah.
just that
Yep.
plays a
Oh,
huge
yeah.
role into women's like self growth. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother podcast
I
too.
know.
Right there.
Yeah.
Love your woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What about you?
Well, I mean, obviously, I like his face too, or else I wouldn't have swiped right. But no, I love how like hard he works for our family. Like that's always been, even in the low moments, you've always chose family,
Mhm.
and you work really hard to provide for our family, and you miss a lot at home.
Mhm.
I mean, you take off, for like events and stuff like that, but day-to-day life, I mean, you're gone basically 12 hours a day,
Yeah,
but it's all for the fam.
it is. It's gonna pay off in the end.
Yeah,
Party of four.
yeah.
That
Party
could be
of
your
four.
hashtag.
Yeah,
Hickman Party 4.
just found it out right there.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a thing.
Yeah,
but
it's always been
I know,
something
yeah,
we've said.
And if you guys are listening and you're in the Raleigh area, you need to go check out. This is a little plug for Arrow here in Andrew, but you need to go check out Hickman at Arrow. He can definitely give you a good fade.
Oh yeah, come
So,
by the shop.
Give him the address.
Yeah. We give the address off the top of my head. I think is 3530.
I think so.
It's in off of Wade Avenue next to a big Whole Foods store there.
Yeah.
And we offer complimentary beer, and we straight razor, like shave your neck, complimentary too. So
or face shave if they want that.
face shave,
too.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. It's,
Back
I mean,
massages,
If
the
not,
whole
just come check it out.
Andrew,
You know?
rub your feet.
Yeah,
you know.
pedicure.
No, get out of here.
Give
Only-
an extra $20.
only I
That's
get that.
false
I'm the only.
That's false
Yeah.
advertisement.
I'm the only
I'm
customer.
messing.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm the only customer that gets that treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome,
So, the great thing about these things is that they can last forever. So one day your kids are probably going to hear this podcast. So, if there's one thing that you could like tell them that you would want them to know forever, what would that be?
Like a secret or?
Like,
I mean, don't be spilling the beans.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
people.
like,
not like a,
Hey,
well,
so guess
I
what? This
guess.
is what I did
I
when you were sleeping.
No.
I was the one who was
necessarily.
making the creepy noise, like
Yeah.
like it's something like that, but I wasn't, you know.
No,
like
just
either a
something
life
you would want.
lesson
Yeah.
or
Oh, okay.
like something that you would want them to know, like how you feel or anything like that.
I mean, because
It's a
I
pretty
do.
deep
I mean,
one.
it is.
Yeah.
You know, it is. That one's wow.
Like, man, they're gonna hear this one day because it's gonna be on the internet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, so Cohen,
can't think of it in, like, one word.
You're about to be 2, and Callie, you're gonna be 7 soon.
Yeah.
And you guys are so young. What could you look back? I mean,
I don't know. I got one for Callie.
go for it.
All right. So for Callie, I just want her to know. I guess not that we didn't lie to her,
I got you.
It
You're
was-
talking about being,
more to protect her
yeah.
until she's old enough to
Something
understand.
that I'm not Callie's father. Callie's still under the impression that I'm like her father
Right.
to this
Yep.
day.
And we
Because-
never
for that
corrected
role.
her.
Right.
But I just don't that, and I don't want her to think that it was anything she did
Right.
for her biological father not to be around. That's my biggest fear.
hmm And we want you to understand, Callie, like that's not true. We love you, and
It's his loss. She's amazing.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm grateful to be your father, like your daddy, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yep.
I just love how she's just such a ball of energy, man.
She is.
You know what I mean? Like, it can be.
She reminds me of like Tigger. Just
You know what I
like,
mean? It can be a handful, but like I would almost rather my kid be like that than the one who's just like super quiet and calm, because that's not me. You know what I mean?
That's
Actually,
not, it's like,
yeah,
that's not
yeah,
part of,
we're all outgoing people,
Mhm.
and so to have a kid who's just, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's hard now because you like, please just sit down and be still for a
Right.
minute.
Well,
Mhm.
even like her teachers love it. Like on her
Right.
report cards, they'll be like, Callie's always so excited to learn. Instead of saying like she's a handful, like
Right.
she's excited, but she's also excited to learn.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, so-
and her principal, even on her most recent quarterly report card, her principal wrote on there, "We love Callie Spunk. She's such an amazing part of our Wiley family." And I was just like, "Oh my god, her
That's
principal
my baby.
wrote that!"
Really,
Like,
really nice, yeah. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
nice when, you know,
Cohen's
all
gonna
the,
grow up.
yeah,
You probably won't get
yeah, no.
quite those
No.
reports.
no,
Definitely
Cohen's
not.
going to be more like me, and
Yeah.
he's going to be hard-headed and
Mm-hmm.
kind of do what he wants, but you know what,
Not if
We're-
we beat him enough.
yeah.
Just kidding.
No, we love
No,
you,
I
buddy.
mean, that's
We love you,
always
buddy. But yeah, no, I mean,
Well, no, I hope that he like sees how Callie is and like kind of takes after that. I mean, we struggle with her in kindergarten.
I want to tell you, just love your sister, buddy. Don't fight with her.
Yeah.
Just be good to
Take care
her.
of
You
your
know, take care
sister.
because like when we get older, I mean, y'all two are gonna be, you know, close.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we get older, your bond's only gonna get stronger.
Yep.
So love her now, buddy.
Boom.
That's good.
That was good. We're right at our mark too. And so we're filming this right here in the kitchen. So of course you're hearing the refrigerator
Ice
kick
machine.
on, coffee maker back there shutting down. But
I kicked around
but
the
we keep
pots
it
and pans.
we keep it real.
Yeah,
We're so imperfectly perfect.
I like that.
I wonder if
Perfectly
there's
perfect.
don't you wish that people could call in right now and ask questions?
We can
Would
start.
that be nice?
We can.
Like, oh, we're gonna take 2 callers now when the
Yeah.
line's open. 1 second.
I mean, it does feel like you're on a radio talk show. Yeah.
We get paid for that advertisement.
We're gonna start doing that. So we could actually start doing that. So if you guys hear this, you definitely know where we're at on social media. You're probably already following Ashley or myself, and now you can go follow Annie and Andrew. So yeah, let's just do that before we end. How can people? Or let's just put it to this way: what are you up to now, Andrew? Like, what do you do? What are you involved in, and how can people find you?
Okay, so I'm working at Arrow, which we talked about previously, in Raleigh, cutting hair, which I love. And then I also am selling CBD oil through the company Green Compass, and anybody can reach me on my Instagram,
Which is
Hickman Fam of 4, the number 4. And then you'll see my name, Andrew Hickman, on it. And then there's a link in my bio that you guys can get to and, check it out yourselves and do, make the decision what you want or leave. Any questions you have for me through my Instagram, I'll be willing. I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Do you need a sip of water?
I do actually. I should have been more prepared.
So Annie, how can people find you?
And
what do you do?
I am on. Oh, what do I do? I am a
What
mommy.
don't I do?
Right. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm a chauffeur. I'm a
Nurse.
account manager. I'm a nurse.
Therapist for sure.
Therapist. Professional shoe tire.
Ugh.
Just kidding. Kelly wears cowgirl boots every day, so I don't have to tie shoes. And Cohen still has Velcro, so
Yeah, we're good to go.
We're good to go. But no, I stay home and take care of the babies, and I also am a beauty guide with Lime Life by Alcone, and you can find me on Instagram at Annie D Law, and Facebook is just Annie Hickman, and look for my beautiful face.
Boom.
Okay.
Anything else you want?
There we go. I'm good.
Anything else
This
you want to
was
say?
fun. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in. Our hope is that as we magnify our lives, we can inspire and encourage many of you around the world right here from our home.
And don't forget to leave us a review and share this with your friends and family. As always, we hope you'll be blessed.